Congressman Tom Malinowski is on the phone right now. He is inside the building. Congressman, first off, are you in a safe position right now? And what can you tell us about what's happening?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm in a safe location with a number of other members. I was in the House chamber when the first breach occurred, and we were very quickly evacuated by the Capitol Police after first watching the Vice President and the Speaker evacuated. So, the most important thing is I think the situation, at least for us, is under control. The situation for our country's democracy is obviously not under control. The President of the United States today encouraged a violent attack on the United States Capitol. This is without precedent in American history and a mark of tremendous shame for all those who tolerated this behavior leading up to today.
Exactly. And Congressman, where are you in the Capitol now?
I'm not going to give you a precise location for obvious reasons, but everyone should know that I'm safe, and I believe my colleagues are also safe. The Capitol Police, of course, are still dealing with this, and this is not a safe situation for them because there are people who came here determined to engage in deadly violence.
Congressman, you mentioned multiple waves, multiple breaches. Are we talking two, more than two? And was there a sense that order had been restored before a second or additional breach occurred?
I'm in no position to give you the full picture, only what I saw and what I heard. But, we heard that one of the House office buildings had been breached and locked down while we were still in the House chamber, and so we were essentially asked to shelter in place there. Then the House chamber itself was evacuated after the Capitol building was breached.
Yeah, Congressman, we've heard one of your colleagues, a Republican colleague, called this a coup attempt. We've heard this is an assault on democracy. You were born in Poland, a different country. Did you ever think you would see this in the United States of America, in Washington, D.C.?
No, and, in my past career, you're hearing a lot of applause right now.
Okay, well, that's a good thing, I think.
A few minutes ago, I made a public statement saying that the moment we get the all clear, we need to go right back into the Capitol chamber, finish the job of certifying the election, and we just got an announcement that is, in fact, exactly what we intend to do. These people are not going to intimidate us. We are going to fulfill our constitutional duty, no matter how long it takes tonight. And you just heard a big round of applause from some of my colleagues on hearing that announcement.
Wow.
What kind of message do you think that would send, Congressman, really to the world at this point? Forget the protesters, assuming that situation can be taken under control, but to the world watching to show order restored if and when you have that opportunity.
I think the message to the world is democracy is not easy, even in the United States. We cannot take our system of government for granted, but our elected representatives, most of us at least, are not going to stand for this. We are going to defend this House. We are going to defend this institution. We are going to defend the right of the American people to elect their leaders. There was a challenge to that principle today, led by a radical group within one of our parties who are inciting a mob to march on the Capitol to support their cause. That effort will fail, and we are going to move on with a new president and a new Congress to govern this country in accordance with the laws and the Constitution. That is the message the world will get.
And Congressman, we know that we have been divided. These obviously, it's been growing over the last several years, and in light of what's happened recently and of course today, as you move forward in this next Congress and under this new administration, how difficult will things be given how divided this country is?
I don't think the country is divided over violence. I don't think this country is divided over whether the will of the people expressed in a free and fair election should be respected. I have a lot of Republican colleagues here with whom I disagree on a lot of policy issues, but they are absolutely with us. Even many who supported President Trump, they are with us that we have got to certify this election, move on, and respect the law. And I think after this shameful, shameful event today, I think more of them are going to be with us, and we will have the unity that we need to move forward. We may not agree on all the policy issues. That's fine. That is normal. But we have to agree on the rule of law.
Congressman, long term, how do you think this could impact, really kind of the everyday conduct on Capitol Hill in terms of security measures? This is something that is mostly unprecedented, but now everyone is aware that it can happen. How do you think that will change things?
Yeah, anything can happen, even in America. That's one of the lessons that we have to learn here. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of after-action study of the security response and whether we have adequate measures to protect this Capitol, to protect our ability to fulfill our responsibilities. That's important for the whole country. There was a bit of chaos today. The Capitol Police did the best they could, but I don't think they were adequately supported.
Yeah, Congressman, we're just, I know you can't see this, but we're just looking at, again, still out in front of the Capitol, which is just a surreal scene with, again, all these protesters, the law enforcement in riot gear, people walking out in front of the Capitol that were trying to disrupt this process. And it's just, it's astounding to see this in our country. It's just hard to watch.
Yeah, it is hard to watch, but you know what? We've got to face it very clearly and understand why it happened. Words matter. When leaders utter the kinds of words that we've heard from our president and from others who are falsely calling this a rigged election and calling on their followers to go wild, as the president did, this is what happens. Words matter. Leadership matters, and that's one of the lessons we need to learn from this. I hope that there will be some reflection about the importance in all of our cases of competing in our political arena without inciting violence, without inciting mistrust of our government and our institutions. And I don't know, this is a horrible situation, but in some strange way, I feel more optimistic because maybe this is a shock. Maybe this is the kick in the pants that we needed to understand these things.
Congressman, there were reports earlier that representatives had to wear gas masks as tear gas was deployed. Did you have to wear a gas mask? Did you see tear gas deployed where you were?
No. There are gas masks under the seats in the House chamber, and we were asked to take them out of their bags so that we would have them at the ready in case they needed to be used, and they were not used. They did not need to be used anywhere in my presence.
And Congressman, again, we're seeing more activity out in front of the Capitol here. Not as many people out here, but you can see still some first responders and things. Doesn't seem to be quite as active in this particular shot that we're seeing. Any word yet on when you may be able to go and finish the job?
We just heard an announcement that it would be soon, but I can't. I don't know any more than that. I think we are all determined to do it literally the moment the Capitol Police and the Sergeant at Arms tell us that we have the all clear.
A joint statement being sent out from Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi calling on President Trump to demand that all protesters leave the U.S. Capitol and Capitol grounds immediately. So, Congressman, it appears there is some work still to be done there before you can get back to work and your colleagues as well.
Yeah, well, again, it's not I'm not going to put myself in the position of the Capitol Police and the Sergeant of Arms. They have to decide when the situation is safe enough. From my standpoint, all that is needed is that the building needs to be secure, whatever may be happening outside. And I'm determined without a single moment of hesitation. You have to go back in there, finish the job, stay as long tonight as it requires. We're not going to let these thugs intimidate us.
Yeah, that's appreciate the forthrightness. And again, we've talked about this and all the challenges to the democracy, all the lawsuits that have all failed, and then today, violence. They tried violence. You know, they didn't like the result, but you know, sometimes in a democratic system you don't like the result, but if it's a free and fair election, then you've got to live with it.
Yes, exactly. There are some results in November that I don't like. I lost some of my colleagues in the House of Representatives. I'm unhappy about that, but they lost fair and square. We had a Democrat in Iowa who lost her race for Congress by 6 votes. And we seated her Republican challenger who won that race, even though there may still be challenges, because that is the rule of law. That is how we do things in the United States. And, you know, we need to have a bipartisan understanding of that basic concept, and the leadership has to come from the top of the Republican Party.
Congressman, we really appreciate your time, giving us a sense of what's happening inside there and what you hope will happen in the moments and the minutes to come. Thank you. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.